Is the world truly ready for Jungkook's return from the military? Are your emotions strong enough to handle the storm that follows the quiet footsteps of a man who left as a boy but returns as a symbol? As the military gates opened and Jungkook emerged in his final uniform, the world seemed to pause. This was not just a singer coming home, this was a cultural reset. The long-awaited return of BTS's Golden Magne shook the globe not merely because of his fame, but because of the magnitude of what he represents in this era. A symbol of youth, resilience, and evolution, Jungkook's discharge marks not only the end of a chapter, but the beginning of an entirely new era. The day he enlisted felt like a global event. Millions of fans from every continent mourned his departure, flooding timelines with hashtags, farewell messages, and digitally lit candles of support. Social media became a river of emotions, filled with "stay safe, we'll wait for you, and see you soon." For many, 2 years of silence felt like eternity. What would become of the artist who once performed on stages lit with a million screams? Would he return changed? Would the industry still be waiting? Would the music be the same? Now, as Jungkook re-enters a world that has missed him every single day, his presence feels deeper than ever. There was no grand parade. No live broadcast. No high-profile interview. Instead, he returned with silence, a rare kind of silence that speaks louder than words. Just a single photo. A quiet post. A gaze that said, "I'm back. And I never really left you." It was enough to send armies into emotional overdrive. Within minutes, "Welcome Back Jungkook" trended worldwide, headlines flashed across entertainment portals, and fans cried, some in disbelief, others in overwhelming joy. Details of his military service began to surface. From anonymous testimonies shared by fellow soldiers to whispers on online forums, the world began piecing together the life Jungkook lived away from the stage. It turns out, he didn't just serve, he thrived. Officers reportedly praised his discipline. Recruits described him as humble, never demanding, always willing to lead by example. Unlike many celebrities who keep a distance in the barracks, Jungkook blended in. He wasn't there to be a star, he was there to be a soldier. And in doing so, he gained more than medals or recognition. He gained depth. Character. Grit. His return signals a seismic shift in the global entertainment scene. News networks from Seoul to Los Angeles, from London to Jakarta, began preparing for the next phase of BTS. Music journalists speculated, will Jungkook jump straight into a solo comeback? Will BTS regroup? Or is there something even bigger on the horizon? Sources close to Big Hit Music teased that Jungkook has been quietly working on material, raw, deeply personal songs shaped by his reflections during military service. Rumors suggest his new work will feature genres never before explored in his discography, perhaps even a return to traditional Korean instruments fused with futuristic soundscapes and brutally honest lyrics. In a world where fame is often fleeting, Jungkook's absence only intensified his legend. Since his enlistment, no other idol has been able to fill the vacuum he left behind. K-pop, while thriving, has waited, breath held, eyes fixed, on this very moment. His return could trigger what industry insiders call BTS 3.0, a new chapter of maturity, artistic integrity, and global domination. It's not just about music anymore. It's about what it means to come of age in front of the world, then disappear, then return reborn. But beyond the headlines and the speculations, what fans truly wanted, achingly, was to see him smile again. And that moment came like a miracle. Just days after returning, Jungkook posted a short video on Weverse. Sitting in a modest room, with no makeup, no stage lighting, and no filter, he looked into the camera, gave a shy smile, and said, "It's been a while. I missed you all." That was it. Simple. Quiet. Yet the emotional impact? Shattering. Fans described sobbing uncontrollably. Others called it the most intimate connection they've ever felt with him. For a moment, it was no longer idol and fandom. It was soul meeting soul. His return has not only reignited BTS's legacy, it has reawakened the global K-pop community. Within 24 hours, streams of his older songs like Still With You, Euphoria, and My Time skyrocketed. Fans started revisiting every stage performance, every V-Live, every behind-the-scenes footage, piecing together the emotional timeline that led to this triumphant return. Merchandise sold out. Fan art flooded platforms like Pinterest, Tumblr, and TikTok. Even media outlets that rarely cover K-pop began writing about the man who made the world cry without singing a note. And what about his future? Fans speculate endlessly. Some say he's planning a surprise album drop. Others believe he may begin a world tour, not as part of BTS, but solo, showing the version of himself he discovered in solitude. There are whispers of a documentary, filmed secretly before, during, and after his enlistment, showing the raw, unfiltered version of Jungkook that the world has never seen. His personal life, always a mystery, remains just as private. But now, there's an air of openness. A sense that maybe, just maybe, he's ready to live more fully. More freely. Will he start opening up more on social media? Will he share stories from his time away? The man who once told fans "I'm not perfect" may now be closer to something even more profound, real. Unpolished. Human. This return isn't just about music, it's about healing. For fans who waited, who endured, who held on to the hope of his smile, it's a moment of release. Jungkook's return has become a symbol of resilience. Of what it means to wait. To hope. To believe that even in silence, love can grow stronger. In Korean culture, military service is often a rite of passage. For Jungkook, it has been a transformation. From golden boy to grounded man. From idol to icon. From performer to philosopher. His eyes, once filled with youthful wonder, now carry the quiet strength of someone who has seen life without the glamour, and chosen to return, not for fame, but for connection. And so now, the world watches. What will he sing next? What will he create? How will he redefine what it means to be Jungkook? But perhaps the most important question is not what's next for Jungkook, but what's next for us, now that he's back. Are we ready to embrace him not just as an idol, but as a storyteller of our time? Are we ready to see him not just as a performer, but as a mirror of our own hopes, fears, and dreams? Because Jungkook didn't just return from military service, he returned to remind us that even in the silence, love endures. And now, with one heartbeat, one gaze, and one quiet whisper, he's back.